Hey, I'm Chef Rich, a classically trained chef, author, and award-winning culinary educator. With over 2 decades of experience, I've discovered that food is more than just food. It's our greatest medicine. But here's the truth. There is no quick fixes, magic pills, superfoods, or diets that work. Welcome to a different kind of cooking show. Our mission? To inspire, educate, and prove that getting healthy doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. I'll share tips on saving you money at the grocery store, saving you time in the kitchen, and creating meals that everyone will eat. I'll expose the lies about food, reduce the stress about what's for dinner, and remove the struggle of getting healthy. If you give me a chance, I promise, we'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious. Now let's get cooking. Hey, I'm Chef Rich, and welcome to One Plate Kitchen, where we save you money at the grocery store, we save you time in the kitchen, and we make delicious meals that are easy, fun, and healthy. Now today, obviously we're outside. It was such a beautiful day outside. We had to take advantage of it. So we were thinking, how can we enjoy this day the most? Let's grill. So we're grilling some beautiful shrimp today. We're gonna do a spicy grilled Harissa shrimp with a lime scented sweet potato and grilled asparagus and onions. Now, since we know what we're making, let's introduce the stars of the show, our ingredients. So now we have our beautiful shrimp. Now we have them on skewers. I'm gonna show you how to do those later on. We're gonna talk a little bit more on what's better, metal or wood, and what's the difference. We have obviously our amazing herb salt. We have our Harissa seasoning, which is a really spicy seasoning. Now this is interchangeable. You didn't want it spicy. If you just wanted to do a regular one, that's fine. If you want to do like a chili one, you can do that. That is totally up to you. All right, this spice mix, totally up to you. All right, we have a beautiful frozen friend, our sweet potato. Yes, they're frozen. All right, it saves me time from cutting and peeling and doing all these things and have to cook them and do all this stuff like that. All I really have to do today is just warm them up. All right, I get the amazing quality and health benefits of a sweet potato, but I don't have to do all the extra work, which is a plus and a plus. So it's a win-win. We have our beautiful asparagus, and these asparagus look so beautiful. All right, so I'm going to show you how to break these and how to get these ready to be cooked. We have a beautiful onion, which we're going to throw on the grill also. We're just going to cut them. And I want you to think of onion rings when we talk about our grilled onion. And then we have some powdered garlic, all right, that we're going to use for our seasoning mix. All right, so now since you know everybody involved, let's get cooking. Normally, the first thing we would work on would be the protein. But because we're using shrimp today, it cooks so fast. We're talking like maybe 3 to 4 minutes, and then they're done. All right, so we wanna make sure we just take this one last. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is start prepping up my vegetables. So I'm gonna get my onion. Now, normally when we cut onions, we're definitely gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut the bottom off. We'll cut the top off. Just like that, that's perfect. Now, normally what we would do is we would cut this right down in half. We're not gonna do it this time. All right, the only thing I wanna do is start slicing these into thick rings. So I just cut that way. I'm gonna cut one more like that. Now we have this layer still on there, which is not a big deal. These are easy to take off now. All right, so I'm just gonna go through and just peel that off. I'll get my knife to just go right underneath there. And then you can just peel these off just like that. All right, we'll do the same thing to these. Just go in there with your knife and just peel that off. You'll see sometimes there's another layer in there that needs to come off too. Like if you look at this one, you see how it has some browning in there? All right, that browning is really leathery and kind of papery. We don't want to use that because it doesn't cook well. So we'll get rid of that. I got one more to do. So again, we'll just take our knife, go through that first layer. Oh, this one just jumped out for us. All right, so we have it just like that. I'm gonna clean up my area. Now our onions are ready. I got my powdered garlic here. I'm gonna season it with my asparagus. Now these are big jumbo asparagus, which is great. They're beautiful. You'll have pencil asparagus and you have jumbo asparagus. All right, what we grabbed here is the jumbo asparagus, which is great. Now we want to make sure that when we talk about asparagus, you can see this. This is the whole piece of asparagus, and it's a lot smaller than these. These are already prepped up, ready to go. This one isn't. And what we'd have to do to prep this up is we just have to get them so they're all the same size. So you'll see it's very tender, 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 tender. From about here, it gets to be really fibrous and chewy, and we don't want that. So to fix that, all we do is grab it from the bottom, and we'll grab it from about the middle, and we just start to bend. Where it snaps is where we have like a fibrous, and we have a really tender. All right, and you can do this with every single one, and you'll see they come out almost identical. So same thing, I'll do it again. So we have a real fibrous part. We grab it by the fibrous part at the bottom. We'll grab it from the middle, and all we're gonna do is just start to bend. Where it breaks, and you can see they're all about the same size. All right, where it breaks is what we wanna get rid of. All right, so I'll put that over there. Now we have our vegetables ready. So I have my onions. I have my asparagus. Now we're gonna season this up. Now obviously we know normally we only use about a tablespoon of olive oil. All right, but for this one, because it's gonna go on the grill, I'm gonna do just a little bit more. All right, and all I wanna do now is just kind of mix this up and get everything covered with that olive oil. All right, once I get that done, it's all mixed in. You can see everything is nice. Now I'm gonna get my seasoning. I have a little bit of garlic powder that I'm gonna put on here. And you wanna mix this in, make sure it's all incorporated. Flip them over to the other side and get the other side of the onion. And get that covered with some garlic. Then I'm gonna grab some of my herb salt and just sprinkle that in as well. And just toss this around. Now seasoning for the grill versus seasoning for like if we're gonna saute. They're two totally different animals. And the reason I say that, we're always gonna season a little bit more aggressively when we go to put things on the grill. And the reason being is as this cooks on the grill, it starts to drip, a lot of that moisture and fat comes out of it. So what'll happen is it'll take a lot of your seasoning with it. Or in order to compensate for that, to make sure we still have something that's really flavorful, is we normally season it just a little bit more aggressively than we normally would. All right, it doesn't mean that it's going to be salty at all. It definitely is not. It just means it's going to have some flavor to it. All right, so our vegetables seasoned beautifully. They look great. So I'm going to put that aside for right now. I'm just going to move this over, and I'll put that aside for right now. I'm just going to let them sit there and just absorb some of that flavor. Remember, we want to make sure it forms that nice little crust on there. If I were to take it and put it on the grill when it still had that dry spice on there, what'll happen is it'll burn, and then it's going to get really bitter, and I don't want that to happen. So we're just going to let it sit here for a little bit, just kind of massage it in so it makes a little crust. It absorbs, it gets to absorb some of that flavor also. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get our sweet potato working. Now with our sweet potato, I promise you this is going to be the easiest and the fastest sweet potato you have ever made. So first thing we do is we get our pan on. Now, there's a couple ways we can do this. I can add water to this and just kind of steam them if I wanted to. Or I can add a little bit of chicken stock or a vegetable stock just to give it a little bit more flavor. I am always gonna go for the flavor profile of it. So what we're gonna do is add a little bit of chicken stock to this. I don't need a lot, just a couple tablespoons in there is all I need. Now I'm gonna take my sweet potato and just add them in. We'll get our sweet potato in there. Now we have those going. And the great thing about this, remember, they're already cooked. So really we're just thawing them out, warming them up, and just adding more flavor to it. All right, so I'm gonna let this go, and I'm gonna put a lid on here and just let that start heating up. I wanna bring it up to a high heat, then I wanna drop it down to a very low simmer and just let them get nice and soft. All right, the reason I don't wanna keep it at a high heat is what'll happen is the outside of that sweet potato will start to absorb a lot of heat, and what'll happen is it'll start to break down and get really, really mushy and saturated with a lot of liquid. All right, now it's not going to taste good. It'd be very soupy. All right, if we were making a soup, great. But we're not. We're making a sweet potato mash today. So I don't want it to be soupy at all. So while that's going, we have our asparagus and our onion ready. We're going to season up our shrimp. Now for our shrimp, what we'll do is we're going to get these. Now we're using metal skewers. Now we talked about before when we first started about metal skewers versus wood skewers. All right, either one you want to use, that's fine with me. All right, with our wood skewers, there's an extra step that we have to take. So if we had wood skewers, what we would have to do is soak those in water, maybe like an hour to 2 hours before we even started cooking. And the reason being is that once I put these on the grill, if they're not soaked in water, they'll start to burn very, very quickly. All right, if they're soaked in water, they'll start to steam first, so it gives you some time before they start to burn. All right, with our metal skewers, we don't have to deal with that at all. All right, our metal skewers, I just put them in there, put them on the grill, take them out. They're hot, you just gotta be careful with it, but I never have to soak these at all. The good thing is with these metal skewers also, I can throw them right in the dishwasher, and the dishwasher can disinfect them and keep them super clean and safe all the time. All right, I don't have to deal with that. All right, now to skewer these, there's kind of a way that I want you to do it. So I want you to take your skewer and your shrimp first, and we'll go through the thin part of the tail first, like that. And then all I'm gonna do is go through the thicker part of it. And I'll just slide these down. All right, we'll go one more and I'll show you. So I'm going to go through the thicker part or the thinner part first. So I go through here, the tail piece first, and then I go right all the way up to the bigger part, the thicker part. Right now, when I get these done, I want to make sure that they're dry. All right, they should be dry first. So we're going to pat these dry. They've already been dried. I want to make sure they're nice and dry. Then I want to season these up. All right, leaving tail on or tail off, it's totally up to you. All right, for this application, I'm going to leave tail on because it's going to look nicer and it gives it a little bit more color as it cooks, because these will turn like a nice bright orange, which is nice. All right, another thing I want to make sure that we do is, you see how these are bunched up and these are a little bit more open? We want to make sure that when we do these, we open them up. All right, what that does is it allows a lot of that heat to get in between and to cook more evenly. Sometimes if they're touching, what'll happen is that you won't get heat in there because they're touching now. So in there, it might take a little bit longer to cook. So the rest of it is cooked except where they're touching. All right, so we want to make sure we just separate them a little bit. That way we get even airflow throughout the whole entire thing. Now I'm going to season these up. Now again, this is an optional part for you. If you wanted to use the harissa, go for it. It is spicy. Now the reason we're using a spicy mix is because we have our sweet potato. So they're gonna balance each other out when you eat them together. All right, if I wasn't using a sweet potato, and then maybe I would use like a chili powder, something that has maybe a little bit of heat to no heat at all. All right, so we're just gonna take our harissa now and just dust this on. All right, I like it a little spicy, so I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on the harissa. Now we didn't add any fat to this. We don't need to add any fat. When I say fat, any olive oil. We don't have to add any olive oil to this. I'm gonna take some herb salt and get that in there as well. Then I'm gonna flip them over and do the same thing to this side. All right, we're gonna get some harissa on there. But again, it could be whatever your favorite seasoning mix is. A little bit of herb salt in there. Make sure they're all good. And then you know what the next step is. Let them sit. So we're going to take these, set these aside just for a minute. Just again, till that incorporates and that kind of dustiness goes away and it makes like a crust on there. All right, now I'm going to start to get my asparagus on the grill. So let's take a look at this grill and see how it is. Now you can see our grill is very hot, which is a good thing. All right. Remember, golden rule that we talked about all the time. We want to make sure our equipment is waiting for us. We're not waiting for the equipment. So I want to make sure my grill is extremely hot, which I know it is. Right now it's about 500 degrees, 400 to 500 degrees, which is perfect. Now, how do you know your grill is hot enough? What we'll do is we'll just put our hand over it. 1, 2, by 3, you should have to pull away. All right, so if you hold your hand over your grill about an inch or 2 inches over the heat, by 1, 2, by 3, you should have to pull away because it's too hot. If you get it in there for longer, like 4, 5, 6 before, it's not ready yet. Let it heat up a little bit more. If you put it over there, it was like 1, 2, and you had to pull away, it's way too hot. We want to be careful with that. Hey, Chef Rich here, and I want to officially introduce you to my one-plate herb salt. Now, this is the perfect all-in-one seasoning that I carefully handcrafted to enhance any dish. Now, our proprietary herb blend not only provides delicious flavor, but also offers antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties for the health-conscious eater. Now, it's also packed with vitamins and minerals, and that green hue comes from the natural chlorophyll found in fresh herbs. Now imagine the possibilities. Succulent meats, tender chicken, flaky fish, perfectly cooked eggs, vibrant salads, and crisp vegetables, all elevated to new heights with the irresistible flavor and health benefits it provides. Now don't settle for ordinary seasonings that merely add flavor. Experience the difference and savor the amazing taste that only our herb salt can provide. To get some for yourself, visit our website. I'm gonna get my asparagus on there too. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at my shrimp. Say, okay, they're looking nice. I'm gonna take one more look. Before I put my shrimp on there, I'm gonna close this up. Because remember, your shrimp cooks really quickly. All right, so I'm gonna let these go for a couple minutes first, and then I'll put my shrimp on, and they'll finish around the same time. I'm gonna take a look at my sweet potato and see how that's coming out. And you can see they are simmering nicely. They're getting nice and soft, which is great. Just gonna give it a stir. All right, that's looking good. What I'm gonna do is turn the heat up a little bit on that. I want them to just go a little bit more. I'm gonna leave the lid off a little bit. You can see how I did it here, where I just left a little bit of this open. What I wanna do is just, because I know it's already at temperature, I know it's already hot. All I want to do is some of that moisture that's in there, I want it to kind of evaporate away. So I just want that to happen just like that and just let it go. Now I'm going to go back to the grill and check on our asparagus and onions. So we'll open this up. Nice. We'll give this a turn. You can see you're getting some grill marks on there, which is beautiful. Turn these over. Onions are looking nice. And if they fall apart on you, that's fine, don't worry. But we'll just let that go. Perfectly on there. And just let it do its thing. Let's take a look at our sweet potato. Oh, our sweet potato smells incredible. Or we can see they're starting to break down and get really soft and tender now, which is great. Now at this point, what I'm gonna do is, because they're about, I would say 70% done, I'm not gonna put the lid back on. I'm just gonna let them kind of go now and just evaporate as it goes. You'll have some pieces like this that have that little blemish in there. But it's not a big deal, but if it bothers you, I know some of my family members that would annoy them, so I'm just gonna remove that. I'll put that aside. But we're just going to let this kind of go now. I'm going to turn that up and just let it reduce now. Now, let's go back to our grill and check that out. All right, asparagus is looking great. All right, we're just going to give those a turn. I'm going to turn over our onions. So we'll let that go. Time to run back here. So we're going back and forth over here from one to the other. We can see this is looking great now. All right, all my water is almost gone. And my sweet potato is starting to mash up nicely. All right, I'm just going to chop these up a little bit. They're nice and soft. You can see the moisture is going away now, which is great. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of change that flavor a little bit. So I have a lime here. First thing I'm going to do with this lime is I'm just going to roll it back and forth. All right, so all you do is put it on the table, put your two hands on there, and just roll back and forth. And what we're doing here is we're just breaking up all the juice cells that are in here. So when I go to squeeze it, all that juice comes out. Now there's two parts to this lime. So we have the actual juice part, but we also have the skin. The skin is full of oil and vitamins and minerals, and we don't want to waste that. So what we do is we'll just take it with our microplane, and we just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to go through that through the whole way, 1, 2, 3, to get all that beautiful, vibrant, and incredibly flavored oil and skin out of our lime. So we go through, make sure we get as much as we can off of there, still keeping it white, or still keeping it green. We don't want the white part. We'll get all that in there. We'll give this a stir. And when you do this at home, you'll notice you're going to get a huge aroma of incredible lime, like a sweet lime almost. So we're just going to mash these up a little bit more. And it's going to look kind of dry, which is okay, because we're also going to introduce lime juice, which will give us a little bit more liquid into there. All right, so we'll let this go a little bit. All right, I'm going to turn down the heat on this. I'm going to go back and look at my my grill, look at my vegetables, and say, okay, these are looking great. Asparagus look incredible. Onions are looking good. They're getting nice and soft and tender. Now you got our shrimp, the bottom part is starting to turn white. Now it's time to turn these over. So just be very gentle with these and just flip them over. Flip these over. They look great. They smell amazing. We got this over there. So we're going to close this up. I'm going to come back over here to my sweet potato. Now you can see it's almost like a mash. It's like a really rough mash, which is good. I like mash two ways. All right, I like mash that's like very smooth. You know, depending on what I'm making, I'll make it really, really smooth texture-wise. And then I like mash that's kind of rough and chunky. Like if I'm doing a mashed potato, I love to get chunks of potato in there. All right, it's real rustic, and I like that. All right, so our sweet potato mash is going to be just like that. All right, you're going to see it, and it looks kind of rough, which is good. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, it's a rustic type dish that we're making. All right, so I got that mixed in perfectly. That looks good. Now I'm going to get this juice in there. So again, we already like squeezed and got all the juice out of it. Now I'm just going to take my knife and slice it right down the middle and just start to squeeze all that juice in there. And you'll see when you make this at home, I promise you, it is going to be the most amazing sweet potato mash you have ever had. So I'm going to squeeze this in there. Oops. I'm just going to give this a stir. And now, what normally would take maybe 20-25 minutes, peel potatoes, to cut the potatoes, to get them on, to get them boiled and everything, took us maybe 5 minutes. Now let's look at our grill. Oh, these look incredible. And you can see the char marks that we have, which is delicious. There's only one word to describe these char marks, and that is delicious. All right, let's look at our onions. Onions look great. Let's take a look at our shrimp. Our shrimp look nice. We're just gonna let them go for like 1 more minute. This one looks like it's about done, so I'm gonna put that one on top. And we're almost done there. 1 minute, that's done. Now I'll start plating this up. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our sweet potato mix first. So this will be the base of our dish. And I so wish you could smell this, because it smells incredible. So I'm just gonna put a little bit down first. Just a little bit, we'll just pat that down. So now that's done. I'm gonna get my asparagus and onion tongs. So we'll get a couple of asparagus and we're just gonna put it right from the grill, right to the plate. I'm gonna do one more because I love asparagus. Now our onion looks incredible. So we got that nice char. We could even take this and we're just gonna put it right there. And I know what you're thinking, oh my goodness, a whole onion. I promise it's gonna be super sweet and delicious. And now we'll take our skewer and we'll bring that right to the plate. These are done. And that's it. Come on. Does it get any easier than this? If we work together, getting healthy and feeling better doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. I promise we'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious. And we'll do it one plate at a time. I'll see you next time. You still here? You want to learn more easy to follow tips and techniques that'll transform your cooking game? Join me for live cooking classes and keep learning with our new One Plate Cooking Club. Visit our website and sign up today. I'm gonna eat this.